Okay, in the first part of the video, we're going to go over how to design the unit form. And you'll note that I have created a reference box for my object. And hopefully, in this part of the video, I'm going to show you how to go about creating your unit form. There are a lot of different ways that you can do this, but basically, you're going to work with line. And if you, as a side note, if you feel more comfortably working in Illustrator, you can actually use Illustrator to do your design work and then export it as a DXF file into Rhino. But let us begin. I'm going to start out by creating my reference sheet for laser cutting, and that's going to be the size of the laser bed is 24 by 48. And so let's start by doing that. So we're going to come over here to our reference layer, and we're going to get our rectangle tool, and we're going to type in 0 and hit enter to place the cursor at 0, and we're going to type in 48 comma 24, and that's going to produce a reference box that is the size of our laser cutter. A laser sheet, a laser cutter, a laser table, I'm sorry. Okay, now I want to zoom in here, and I always like to use a reference box when I do this work. And you note that the size is 24, and the width is, the height is 24, and the width is 48. And I'm going to use that as a guide for when I create my unit form. And I'm going to make my unit form 2 by 7 because I know that if I do that, I'll be able to easily store 3. I'll be able to go 3 up in this direction, and I'll be able to get 8 to 9 of them in the horizontal direction. So a 9 by 3, that'll give me 27 pieces or 27 modules if I go about that. So with my rectangle tool, I'm going to turn on my grid snap and my ortho snap and my O snaps because I'm going to work really smart at this point. We should be working really smart with our work. And I'm going to start out with my rectangle, and I'm going to click here, right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a R for relative to this point, and I'm going to type in 2 comma minus 7. Okay, and that creates a rectangle that is 2 units wide by 7 units high. I'm going to take a point because I want to have this reference, and I'm going to place that point in the center of my object because I'm going to use that. Okay. And using that point, I'm going to come over to my line tools, and I'm going to get my line from midpoint. And with that selected, I'm going to draw a line across this way, and right-click. I'm going to draw a line that way. So I have a midpoint bisector of my box here. And now that I've done that, I can come over here to my default layer, and I'm going to lock that down so I can't move those objects. Okay, now I'm going to start doing my work. I'm going to get my circle tool. I'm going to draw a circle right here. So I got a 2-inch wide circle there. I can select that, and I can mirror that. And I'm going to use this axis right here as my mirror axis. So I get a circle there. And now I'm going to draw with my line here. I'm going to draw a line from the center here. Let me turn off my center snap and my ortho snap. And I'm going to draw a line there, 2 units, 1/2 inch, there, that way, that way, that way, that way, and that way, like so. I'll get my circle tool once again, and I'll zoom in. I'm going to draw half-inch circle there. Come down here. I could have mirrored that if I wanted to. Draw a half-inch circle there. And in the center, I'm going to make another circle. Now, you got to be careful with this one, because if you make it too wide and you notch this edge right here, it'll overlap into the circle. So I'm going to make sure that I have a 1/2 inch so that when they notch together, they'll butt up right against the edge of that circle, like so. Okay, and so I have those in place. Okay, now I'm ready to make my my notch representer. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get my rectangle tool, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to use a value of 0.19, and that's usually a value for plywood underlayment. And this is something that I can change later, and you got to make sure that you check this against your materials. And I'm going to show you how you could go back and fix that later, how you could go back and add those later. And what's nice about arraying these in the end is that you only have to go back and fix your unit form. So for right now, I'm going to go R, because I want to do it relative. And I'm going to do 0.19, comma, 0.5. It's going to make it a 1/2 inch, and it looks something like that. Now, with my mid-snap turned on, I can do a copy or a move, okay? You can either move or copy. I'm going to select this object, and I'm going to do a copy, and I'm going to go to the midpoint here, and I'm going to put that down there like that, and notch that like so. Okay? And now I can take this object right here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my buddy Polar Array to array this around this object. So I'm going to do an array, Polar, and the center of the array will be right here, and I'm going to use 4 elements, and I'm going to go 360, so it goes around like so. Okay, and that looks good. I'm going to delete this one because I don't really need it. And so I have that. So now with those selected, I can select these 3 like so, and I can do a mirror. And if I turn on my end snap here, I can go right there and right there. One of the nice things about Rhino is that even though a layer is locked, you still have access to the attributes of those locked elements. So we can still use the end snaps and not worry about moving them. Okay, and so here we've mirrored those. So now I can take these 2, like so, and I'm going to do a copy. And I'm going to make sure that my ortho snap is turned on and my grid snap is turned on. And I'm going to go from the midpoint there, and I'm going to drag those down right there, like so. And now those are copied there. Okay. Now I want to add like another element here through the center, because I'm going to use that in my design also, so that I can get this drop here. It'll give me some options on how to do this drop. And for that, what I'll do, I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw a 1/4 inch rectangle that goes from the midpoint of the circle on top to the midpoint of the circle on the bottom. And then I'm going to select that, and I'm going to do a move. And I'm going to move it from the midpoint, right there, like so. And so I have this group of circles now, and I can now use my good old friend Curve Boolean to create several variations on this design that will give me different elements. Okay. But I'm going to stop this here because this shows one of the workflows that you can use. But working with circles, you can go about this in any number of ways, but this shows the basic technique that can be used to create your unit form.